Beloved chosen one, heaven has paused for you. Do you understand the magnitude of that time itself? The rhythm of eternity, the symphony of unseen realms, everything slowed to acknowledge that you made it through. You are not here by coincidence. This is not a random moment scrolling on a screen. This is divine intervention. You have walked through storms meant to bury you, yet here you stand, breathing proof that grace is greater than darkness. Heaven is whispering, "Congratulations, you've overcome." There was a time when you thought the night would never end. Every prayer felt unanswered, every step heavy. You cried out in silence when no one saw, but heaven did. Angels stood watch while you wrestled with shadows. The fire that once tried to consume you now bows to the light radiating from your soul. You've been refined, not ruined, strengthened, not shattered. The world will never understand how much you had to lose to become who you are now. But God does, and He calls you victorious. The universe knows your name because heaven spoke it. The light within you carries a frequency that darkness cannot tolerate. That's why the attacks intensified. That's why the enemy tried to isolate you, confuse you, silence you. Because if you ever realized the power sleeping inside your spirit, hell itself would tremble. And now you do realize. The revelation has arrived. You are awake. Listen carefully. Chosen one, you are entering a new chapter where the old battles no longer have authority. The chains that once held you are broken. The fear that once whispered is mute. Your season of testing is over, and your time of triumph begins now. Heaven has declared an ending to the night that once covered you. And know this, your story from this moment forward is written in light. Every word you speak carries the fragrance of freedom. The same God who lifted you from the ashes will now display His glory through you. Walk boldly, for creation itself leans in to witness what you will become next. As it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That verse is not just ink on ancient parchment, it is a divine decree over your life this very moment. You are the embodiment of that prophecy. You are light breaking through generations of shadow. You are proof that hope outlasts pain. You are the answered prayer of ancestors who never saw the day you now stand in. You did not survive to return to normal. You survived to rise, to lead, to illuminate. Your scars are not signs of defeat. They are markings of divine warfare won. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect. It's reminding you to be present, to show up as the warrior you've become. You've crossed through darkness and discovered your identity on the other side. That's why peace feels different now. It's not something you chase. It's something that emanates from within you. You've become a vessel of divine calm in a chaotic world. You carry an authority that silences confusion. Even the air around you shifts because you have chosen light. There will be those who do not understand your glow. They'll question how you still smile after everything that broke you. But they weren't there when heaven held you together in secret. Let them wonder. Your peace will preach louder than any explanation. This is your graduation from surviving to reigning. You're no longer begging for breakthroughs. You are the breakthrough. Every test that once terrified you has turned into a testimony that carries weight in the spiritual realm. You are walking evidence that God still rescues, restores, and redeems. Chosen one, lift your head. The season of shadows is gone. You've stepped into divine visibility. Every loss you suffered is now currency for your elevation. Every rejection was redirection. Every delay was protection. You didn't miss your timing just arrived. Pause for a moment and breathe. Feel the weight lifting off your spirit. The darkness is over. The warfare that surrounded you has been silenced by decree. Heaven has recorded your endurance, and now the reward begins. You have crossed into light unstoppable, radiant, chosen. Now, I want you to mark this moment prophetically, not by fear, not by hesitation, but by faith. If this message resonates with your spirit, let the heavens see your agreement. Like this message, share it with another warrior who's still fighting in silence. Leave your words below as a declaration of victory. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because every message that follows will keep building what God has started in you. And as your final act of faith right now, comment 707 below. 7 is the number of completion, and 3 sevens seal the season that has ended. You are stepping into your divine fullness. Heaven has paused to celebrate you. Chosen one, because truly, you have overcome. Chosen one. Now that heaven has declared your victory, it is time to remember where you came from. Do not erase the valley from your memory. It was sacred ground disguised as suffering. Every shadow you walked through was teaching you something light could never reveal. The valley was not punishment, it was preparation. You thought you were breaking, but you were being built. You thought you were abandoned, but you were being anointed in secret. There were nights you wept until your soul felt hollow, when the silence of God was deafening. But even in that silence, heaven was speaking through endurance, through delay, through pain. Every unanswered prayer became a chisel in the hands of the potter. He was shaping your heart to hold what your destiny required. What you saw as darkness was the shadow of his hand covering you until you were ready. You walked through valleys that others could not survive. You carried weights that were never meant for ordinary souls. But you are not ordinary. You are chosen. The depth of your valley revealed the height of your calling. And though it seemed endless, you never walked it alone. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me. Look back for a moment, not with regret, but with revelation. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every unanswered prayer carried divine timing within it. You were being pruned so you could produce fruit in the right season. Every friend who left made space for clarity. Every delay taught you patience that will anchor your next elevation. The valley stripped you, but it also refined you until only truth remained. The people around you didn't always see it. They saw your struggle, but not your surrender. They saw your tears, but not your transformation. But heaven saw everything. God was collecting every tear, recording every moment you chose faith instead of fear. Each choice became a seed that now blooms in the garden of your restoration. There were moments you thought your story ended in that valley. You imagined yourself forgotten, swallowed by despair. But what you didn't know was that heaven had already marked your exit. The exact day you would rise was written before the pain even began. The darkness only existed to reveal the brilliance of your dawn. In the valley, you learned to pray differently, not with rehearsed words, but with the groans of your spirit. You learned to worship without witnesses. You learned to breathe through brokenness, to love while bleeding, to trust when nothing made sense. That kind of faith terrifies darkness. That kind of surrender births miracles. Now, when you look at your reflection, you see someone unrecognizable from the person who entered that valley. Your eyes carry depth. Your voice carries authority. Your soul carries peace. The valley did not take you, it taught you how to walk with God Himself. Do you realize what that means? You carry wisdom that can't be taught, only lived. You now understand the sacred rhythm of waiting, the power of quiet resilience, the beauty of stillness before dawn. You've learned that strength isn't loud, it's steady. It's the decision to keep moving even when your feet bleed. Beloved, your valley season was holy. It stripped away illusions and left you with something pure: faith unfiltered, love unshakable, hope that refuses to die. You no longer chase light because you have become it. You are the embodiment of perseverance, the living testimony that valleys do not destroy the chosen, they define them. And now, every shadow that once terrified you will tremble when you pass. Every echo of your past pain will fade in the sound of your praise. You are not walking through darkness anymore. You are walking through memory. And memory bows before the glory of what you've become. Hold your head high, not in pride but in remembrance. You were once the wounded, but now you are the healer. You were once the lost, but now you are the guide. You were once broken, but now you are the vessel through which light flows freely. The valley didn't end you, it introduced you to the version of yourself that cannot be defeated. So walk forward, chosen one, and never curse your valley again. For it was there that heaven whispered your name in the shadows and called you beloved. It was there that you learned to walk by faith when sight failed you. And it was there that you discovered that the same God who guided you through the valley still walks beside you in victory. You are living proof that no shadow lasts forever. The darkness bowed, the fear dissolved, and the valley gave way to light. What once felt like loss has become the birthplace of your destiny. The ground that held your tears now blooms with purpose. And as you move forward, remember every step you take is testimony that God was with you all along. Chosen one, much of what shaped you was never seen. The most powerful parts of your story were written in silence, midnight prayers no one heard, inner battles no one witnessed. You fought not against flesh and blood, but against forces that wanted to extinguish your light before it could rise. Yet you endured. You stood when your strength failed. You believed when your heart broke. Heaven recorded every unseen victory. Your war was not fought on visible battlefields. It happened in your thoughts, in your spirit, in the quiet moments when despair whispered that it was over. But every time you chose faith instead of fear, you won. Every time you forgave when it was easier to hate, you shattered darkness. Every time you loved without reason, heaven thundered its approval. You did not just survive, you conquered realms that eyes could not see. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Those words define your journey. The enemy never came for your possessions, it came for your peace. It never wanted your body, it wanted your mind. It knew that if it could chain your thoughts, it could control your destiny. But you broke those invisible chains one act of faith at a time. You resisted despair when surrender felt easier. You praised when your lips trembled. You stayed faithful when your world collapsed. That is spiritual warfare, and you won. You fought battles others never noticed, yet they feel the peace you carry now. They sense something unexplainable about your presence. You've become a fortress in the spirit. When others crumble under pressure, you remain calm, anchored by unseen strength. That peace is not weakness, it is authority. You've learned how to silence storms because you conquered your own. There were moments the darkness tried to whisper that you were forgotten. It told you your prayers were empty and your hope naive. But you kept praying, and with every whispered amen, light broke through another layer of shadow. You became a weapon forged in surrender. Every wound became wisdom. Every scar became a map to guide others home. Chosen one, understand this: your warfare was not wasted. Heaven does not allow pain without purpose. You were trained in the dark so you could lead in the light. Every unseen victory earned you spiritual authority that cannot be taken. You now walk with discernment, able to see beyond appearances, able to recognize truth from deception. The warfare taught you clarity. The same attacks that tried to destroy your mind are now the proof that you carry the mind of Christ. You are sensitive to the spiritual because you have walked through invisible fire. You know what it's like to battle thoughts that were not your own, to feel heaviness that came from unseen opposition. But you also know what it's like to watch light win every single time. You may not have received applause for your resilience, but heaven applauded you in silence. Angels gathered every time you refused to break. You are the kind of warrior who fights without needing to be seen, who prays when no one's listening, who wins wars that others don't even know exist. That's the mark of the chosen. Now, as you step forward, you will notice something miraculous where you once felt attacked. You now carry peace. The same places that once drained you now feel weightless. You are surrounded by divine protection because you have authority over what once oppressed you. The enemy knows it cannot touch what has already been sanctified by fire. Every victory you won in secret has ripple effects. Others will find healing in your story without knowing why. Your words will carry power because they are born from pain. Your smile will break chains because it radiates truth. The invisible realm recognizes you now. You are known by heaven and feared by darkness. Beloved, you no longer fight from weakness, you fight from victory. You don't beg for peace, you release it. You don't plead for strength, you embody it. The unseen wars trained you to move differently, to speak differently, to see differently. That's why your presence shifts atmospheres. When you walk into a room, light reorganizes itself around you. And as you stand now, free from the invisible weight, remember, you didn't just overcome, you transformed. You turned battlefields into birthplaces. You turned pain into prophecy. You turned silence into song. Your unseen wars have made you a living declaration that darkness never wins. Now seal this truth with a simple act of agreement. Write the words, "I stand free," below. Let that be your declaration, not for others to see, but for heaven to witness. Those 3 words are not empty. They are a proclamation that the unseen chains are gone forever. As you type them, imagine every shadow retreating, every lingering fear dissolving. You are announcing to all realms that the battle is finished. You have walked through the invisible and emerged visible. You have touched despair and discovered destiny. You are the living evidence that unseen warfare produces unshakable faith. Heaven sees you. Chosen one, and heaven is proud. Chosen one, do you remember the flames? The seasons when everything you loved seemed to collapse, when the very air around you felt heavy with loss. You called it destruction, but heaven called it refining. You were not being punished. You were being purified. The fire that came for you was never meant to consume you, only to reveal the gold hidden within. There is something sacred about being broken open by fire. It strips away illusions. It exposes what is real, what cannot be shaken, what belongs to eternity. Every burning moment you endured was a holy encounter. The fire did not arrive to destroy your identity. It came to burn away the versions of you that could not carry destiny. What you lost in those flames was never meant to stay. You see, the chosen are not made in comfort. They are carved in fire. Every disappointment that scorched your heart was shaping your endurance. Every rejection was cleansing your motives. Every closed door was heaven's way of saying, "You've outgrown that space. You weren't being denied, you were being redirected to your true calling." And though it hurt, you endured. Though you didn't understand, you trusted. Though the fire raged, you kept walking through it. That is why you now carry an authority that cannot be imitated. You have been through too much to be fooled by appearances. You have tasted loss and still chosen faith. You have been reduced to ashes and still chosen praise. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Those are not poetic promises, they are eternal laws. The fire bowed to you because of who walks beside you. Even when the heat intensified, you were never alone. The presence that covered you in the valley also shielded you in the furnace. You didn't realize it then, but angels were stationed around you, ensuring that only what was impure would perish. Look at you now, stronger, wiser, purer. You shine differently, not because life became easy, but because the fire burned away the need to prove yourself. You no longer chase validation, you carry revelation. You don't fear the flames anymore, you understand them. Fire has become your friend, your teacher, your purifier. The world saw your breaking, but heaven saw your becoming. They thought you were finished, but you were being forged. You emerged from the fire with eyes that see clearly, with faith that doesn't tremble, with peace that cannot be stolen. And though you still bear the memory of heat, you no longer carry its pain. The smoke has cleared, and you stand untouched. There's something divine about scars that don't sting anymore. They remind you not of destruction, but of resurrection. Every scar on your soul now tells a story heaven celebrates. Each one says the fire tried, but it failed. Chosen one. Understand this, your anointing carries the fragrance of fire. It's why others sense power in your presence. They feel the residue of battles you've survived. They may not know the details, but their spirits recognize your endurance. You've been through something sacred, something only those marked by God can endure. And now you see with new eyes. You've learned to discern between what glitters and what glows. You've learned to stay calm when everything shakes, because you've already survived worse. You carry stability in chaos, light in darkness, peace in storms. That's the mark of one who has walked through flames and come out shining. You may still wonder why so much had to burn, why certain people left, why certain dreams collapsed. But if you could see from heaven's view, you'd understand it wasn't loss, it was exchange. God never takes without replacing with something eternal. Every burnt bridge prevented you from returning to a place that could no longer hold your purpose. Every ending made room for rebirth. The fire was your graduation. It stripped you of dependence on things that fade. It burned away fear, ego, and doubt. It forced you to trust when everything visible vanished. And when the flames died down, what remained was indestructible faith, a spirit that no darkness can imitate or destroy. Beloved, the fire has passed, but the glow remains. You are luminous because you have been refined. When others run from heat, you walk through it with quiet courage. You know now that the same God who permitted the fire also controlled its boundaries. You were never in danger, you were in transformation. You don't need to fear what's coming next, because you've already survived what should have ended you. The fire revealed your eternal nature. It proved that what is divine within you cannot be destroyed. And now, wherever you go, that same flame becomes light for others. What once burned you now burns through you, pure, holy, unstoppable. Chosen one, you are not the ashes, you are the phoenix rising from them. You are not the victim of fire, you are its master. Every trial you faced was heaven's furnace, and you came forth as gold, chosen one. There was a moment when everything went quiet, the storms paused, the confusion lifted, and a single whisper pierced through the noise. It was not the voice of the world. It was not your own echo. It was him, the one who knew you before time began, the one who formed your spirit with purpose. That voice called your name. You might remember the moment. It didn't sound dramatic, yet it felt like lightning within your chest. Perhaps it came as a dream, perhaps through tears, perhaps in the stillness between two breaths. The voice did not shout, it resonated. It did not demand, it invited. You are mine. Those 3 words shifted the atmosphere of your entire life. There are moments when heaven does not speak to crowds, but to individual. This was such a moment. The voice that once thundered over mountains leaned close and whispered to you. You were chosen long before you believed it. You were seen when no one else noticed. That whisper was your divine awakening, the gentle reminder that you belong not to chaos but to destiny. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. You see, the world is full of noise, millions of voices calling for attention, each promising fulfillment. But the divine voice is different. It does not compete. It calls. It is subtle but strong, quiet yet undeniable. It comes not to demand your perfection, but to remind you of your identity. When you hear it, peace follows, chaos dissolves. That is how you know it is real. The voice of God does not always arrive in miracles. Sometimes it comes through ordinary moments, a sunrise after a sleepless night, a song that reaches your heart unexpectedly, a stranger's kindness that feels like prophecy. Heaven uses the simplest echoes to remind you that you are not forgotten. That voice has been calling you to rise higher, to forgive again, to love again, to believe again. It has been calling you not to return to who you were, but to become who you were always meant to be. And now, the call is louder. The divine whisper is saying, go and strengthen others, because what you have received was never meant to stay confined within you. You are a channel through which heaven speaks. Every word you share, every act of kindness, every testimony of endurance becomes a bridge for others to find their way out of darkness. The same voice that rescued you now speaks through you. So as you listen to these words, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel that whisper again. It is not just memory, it is presence. The same spirit that called your name is calling still, urging you to carry the message forward. You can become part of something greater. When you share these messages, you are not merely passing along words, you are planting seeds of light in someone else's valley. When you subscribe, you are anchoring yourself to a stream of ongoing revelation, a well that keeps flowing. And when you choose to support this ministry through your giving, you become part of heaven's echo, helping this voice reach hearts that are still waiting in silence. Think of it like this: a single candle lights another without losing its flame. A single drop creates ripples across the entire sea. When you give, when you share, when you commit, you become that ripple, an extension of the divine voice. You may never see all the lives you touch, but heaven does. Each small act of generosity becomes eternal currency. And if you've ever felt that tug to contribute, to help keep the light shining, trust that it's not pressure, it's partnership. The same voice that once called your name now calls you into divine participation. Because every great move of God begins with hearts willing to respond. You are part of that movement. Your presence here is not accidental. You are being drawn deeper into purpose, called not just to hear, but to echo, not just to receive, but to radiate. When you click share, someone lost might find hope. When you subscribe, you stay connected to words that keep your spirit alive. And when you donate, when you give from the heart, you become part of the infrastructure of light. You build invisible bridges for miracles to travel across. Chosen one, the voice that once called you through fire now calls you into creation. It whispers again. Speak. Give. Shine. Not because you owe anything, but because light expands when it is shared. Let your life become an echo of that whisper. Let your generosity become worship. Let your actions preach louder than your words. For every time you help the message move forward, you are saying to heaven, I have heard you, and I will carry your light. The call that began as a whisper now resounds in you. You are no longer the one being reached, you are the one reaching others. You are the continuation of the divine sentence God began when He first spoke your name, Chosen One. If only you could see what has been happening around you, how heaven moved while you slept, how angels stood guard when you could not stand yourself. There were nights you thought you were alone, but you were surrounded. There were moments you felt unprotected, yet the air itself shimmered with divine presence. You did not survive by chance. You were covered by design. You have walked through valleys, endured storms, and stood in fire, but through it all, unseen hands shielded you. When betrayal struck like an arrow, something invisible deflected its poison. When exhaustion whispered that you could not continue, strength appeared from nowhere. These were not coincidences. These were angelic assignments, dispatched at the command of heaven to ensure that destiny would not die prematurely. Heaven has always known your worth. The darkness tried to convince you otherwise. But every time despair reached for you, heaven said, not this one. You belong to the light. You have been marked since birth, sealed by divine intention, surrounded by forces that will not allow destruction to have the final word. We find assurance in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. That is not a poetic exaggeration, it is a spiritual law. Even now, angels stand on assignment around you. Some guard your steps, others war on your behalf, and others whisper strength into your weary heart. You might not see them, but their presence is tangible in every impossible escape, every moment of unexplainable peace. You've experienced near misses, accidents that didn't happen, decisions that suddenly shifted, people who entered your path at just the right time. These are not random coincidences, they are divine orchestration. Heaven's army has walked beside you, clearing paths you did not know were blocked, silencing threats you never heard. Chosen one. There are times heaven must fight for you in secret, because if you saw the scale of the warfare surrounding your destiny, your heart would tremble. Yet God never allows the chosen to stand unprotected. Your life is encircled by grace and guarded by purpose. You are never without covering. And now, in this season of transition, those angelic guards remain. They do not sleep. They do not grow weary. You are being escorted into a higher realm of peace. Even your footsteps are ordered. That sudden urge to pause before acting, that quiet inner warning. Those are not coincidences, they are whispers of protection. Heaven guides through stillness as much as through signs. Every attack that tried to take you out was intercepted. Every curse spoken against you was reversed before it could land. The spiritual realm knows your identity. It recognizes the mark of divine ownership on your soul. Darkness cannot touch what heaven has claimed. If you have felt an invisible calm lately, if you've noticed that fear no longer has the same hold, it's because your spirit has learned to trust the protection surrounding you. You have grown aware of the invisible. You have learned that you don't need to see the army when you can feel the commander's presence. Beloved, you are not fragile, you are fortified. You have a celestial escort that travels with you. Even when your eyes are closed, heaven is awake. The same angels that once held you in the fire now walk beside you in victory. Their assignment has shifted from defense to guidance, from protection to partnership. They are preparing the path ahead, ensuring that no trap or deception can block your ascent. You are walking through a corridor of light. Every step is watched, every breath accounted for, every tear transformed into testimony. You were never unguarded, not for a single moment. The times you thought you barely made it were actually moments when angels carried you. The reason you're still standing is because heaven refused to let you fall. Chosen one, pause and take this in. You have lived through what others did not survive. You have been preserved because there is still prophecy unfolding through you. The same divine guard that carried you through the wilderness now surrounds your new beginning. You walk beneath the wings of protection, chosen not only to survive but to shine. And now, let this moment be your acknowledgement of gratitude. Not fear, not pleading gratitude. You are protected, loved, and seen. Your destiny is under divine custody. You are escorted by heaven itself. To seal this revelation, I invite you to comment 4 below. The number 4 echoes the completeness of divine order, the 4 winds, the 4 corners of the earth, the structure upon which heaven built creation. By writing it, you align yourself with that order, acknowledging that your steps are guided, your life is guarded, and your path is illuminated. As your fingers type those numbers, imagine light surrounding you, soft yet unbreakable, warm yet impenetrable. You are enclosed within that light. No weapon, no curse, no darkness can penetrate what God has fortified. You have always been protected, chosen one. You are not walking alone, you are walking surrounded. Heaven's army marches beside you still, and they will not leave until the prophecy written over your life is complete. Chosen one, you have felt it, the strange breaking that seemed to tear everything apart from the inside out. There was a season when the weight of life pressed so heavily upon you that even breathing felt like labor. Everything familiar began to crumble. Relationships shifted, dreams dissolved, and the ground beneath your feet refused to stay steady. You thought it was the end. But what you called breaking was actually birthing. There is a mystery in the way heaven works. Before something divine is born, something human must break. Before expansion, there is pressure. Before resurrection, there is burial. Your breaking was not a sign of defeat. It was the labor of destiny pushing through you. The tears you cried were contractions of purpose. The pain you endured, the sound of heaven making room for new life. At that time, it felt unbearable. You didn't see growth, only loss. But hidden beneath the ache, something sacred was forming. You were shedding old identities, old fears, old limits. The version of you that lived in survival had to die so that the version born in purpose could rise. Every crack that appeared in your heart was a door opening to something higher. The ancient words recorded in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, still echo with truth, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Even when it made no sense, even when you screamed, "Why?" God, He was weaving threads you could not see. The pain was not punishment, it was positioning. Every loss cleared space for what was coming next. Every closed door was heaven's midwife preparing you for birth. You weren't losing, you were being lifted. Sometimes the birthing process looks like heartbreak. You lose what you thought you needed, and you don't realize it was only temporary scaffolding. God allowed certain things to fall away so that your true foundation could emerge. You were never meant to build on instability. The breaking was necessary for strength. You may not have recognized it then, but heaven was with you in that moment of collapse. When you thought your faith failed, it was actually being stretched. When you felt abandoned, you were being redefined. You were learning to depend not on circumstances, but on presence. You were learning that the breaking point is also the turning point. Do you see it now? What once broke you has become the very thing that makes you powerful. The sensitivity you gained through pain has made you compassionate. The wisdom born from waiting has made you discerning. The humility that came through loss has made you approachable. These are the marks of one who has birthed purpose through pain. When God wants to expand your capacity, He allows something to crack open. It feels violent because growth is never gentle. Just as a seed must split to sprout, so too must your spirit break to bloom. But just as every seed knows it will rise after breaking, heaven knew you would too. There were nights when you thought, "This cannot be God." And yet now, looking back, you realize it could only have been Him. No one else could have turned such chaos into clarity, such pain into peace. You see now that every heartbreak had a hidden map inside it, guiding you toward the life you were always meant to live. Chosen one. Your breaking birthed a new rhythm within you. You no longer rush, you flow. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer panic in transition, you trust the process. You carry the fragrance of one who has seen death and chosen resurrection. You move differently because you know that endings are never truly endings, they are openings disguised as loss. Now, when others come to you shattered, you understand. You do not offer quick answers, you offer presence. Because you know that pain cannot always be fixed, it must be transformed. You carry the calm of one who has wrestled with God and found peace instead of bitterness. Beloved, you were not destroyed, you were delivered. Your breaking was the bridge between what was and what must be. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your new beginning. Every silent scream became a seed for the strength you walk in now. The breaking has done its work. What was once pressure is now power. What was once pain is now purpose. You no longer fear the sound of things cracking because you know it means something divine is emerging. You have been through the fire, through the valley, through the breaking, and now you carry the birth of something eternal within you. You are no longer breaking, chosen one. You are blooming, chosen one. Do you remember the moment you forgot who you were when the weight of life pressed so fiercely upon your shoulders that you questioned your own worth? You looked at your reflection and saw only fragments of what once was. You called yourself ordinary. You believed the lies whispered by pain that you were forgotten, that your light had faded, that your purpose had passed. But heaven never forgot your crown. There is a truth that darkness cannot erase. Royalty cannot be revoked. You were chosen before you knew your name, before you took your first breath. And though life tried to convince you otherwise, you were born crowned. The world might have stripped your confidence, but it could never touch your calling. Your crown may have tilted, but it was never removed. You carried greatness even while walking through grief. You carried light even while surrounded by shadows. The crown did not vanish in your struggle, it only became hidden beneath the dust of pain. Heaven waited patiently for the day you would remember. And that day has come, as the Apostle Peter wrote in his first letter, chapter 2, verse 9. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. Those words are not mere poetry, they are identity. You are royalty in exile no longer. You have awakened to the truth that the same God who anointed kings and prophets also anointed you. The world told you that humility meant forgetting your worth. But heaven says true humility is wearing your crown with reverence. Think of what you've endured, the betrayals, the disappointments, the silent battles. Each trial was polishing your crown. Every tear became a jewel, every loss a refining fire. You were never being diminished. You were being defined. The pressure you faced was shaping your authority. You once mistook pain for punishment, but now you see it was preparation. Royal blood cannot remain hidden forever. The moment comes when destiny calls you by name, when heaven whispers, "Rise, my beloved, remember who you are." And when that moment arrives, everything changes. You begin to see yourself differently. You walk differently, not in arrogance, but in quiet assurance. You speak differently, not to impress, but to bless. You carry peace as your robe and truth as your scepter. The air around you shifts because heaven recognizes one of its own has remembered. Chosen one, the world needs the version of you that remembers the crown. You are not meant to blend in. You were designed to lead through love, to rule through compassion, to stand firm when others bow to fear. You are not superior, you are surrendered. Your crown is not made of gold, but of grace. The enemy fought so hard to make you forget because memory is power. If you forget who you are, you will live beneath your calling. But once you remember, nothing can stop you. No opinion, no rejection, no failure can shake someone who knows they are chosen. The moment you reclaim your identity, everything lost begins to return. You are not who pain said you were. You are who God says you are, redeemed, restored, radiant. And though your crown was buried under the rubble of the past, it never rusted. Heaven preserved it until you were ready to wear it again, not as a symbol of pride, but as a testimony of endurance. Lift your head now. Feel the invisible weight of royalty resting upon you. The same light that crowned David in the fields and Esther in the palace shines upon you. You carry lineage within you that cannot be erased. Your name has been spoken in the halls of heaven, and your authority has been acknowledged in realms unseen. You no longer have to search for approval. Your existence is divine validation. You are not chasing crowns, you are reclaiming one that has always been yours. You are not striving to be enough, you already are. The crown is not a gift for perfection. It's a symbol of grace that refuses to let go of you. Chosen one, step forward in dignity. Walk like one who knows heaven's eyes follow their every move. Speak like one entrusted with light. Love like one who understands that true power is gentle. The world may never understand your royalty, but heaven celebrates it. Your story is not about loss, it's about restoration. You have remembered your crown, and in doing so, you have remembered your worth. Every step from this moment forward is a royal procession. Every word you speak is a decree of love and power. The crown you forgot you carried is now shining again, reflecting not your glory but His. And that, beloved, is the highest honor of all, to wear grace openly, to walk in purpose fearlessly, and to remember forever who you are. Chosen one, you've seen what ruin looks like. You've felt it in your chest, in the moments when everything you built came crashing down. There were times when the landscape of your life resembled ashes, dreams reduced to fragments, relationships scattered like dust, plans erased without warning. You looked at the wreckage and wondered if anything could ever grow again. But what you didn't see then was the hidden hand of restoration moving beneath the rubble. You thought it was over, but heaven was only clearing the field. Sometimes God must dismantle what was built on false foundations to rebuild what can withstand eternity. You were never being buried, you were being replanted. The soil of your suffering became the ground for something divine to bloom. We are reminded through the writings of the prophet Joel. Chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the great locust and the young locust. The other locusts and the locusts swarm my great army that I sent among you. That promise is not poetic, it's prophetic. It means that nothing you lost is truly lost. Time, opportunity, peace, even joy, all of it is being restored in ways you cannot yet see. The same hands that allowed the shaking are now rebuilding with precision. You will not simply regain what was taken, you will rise with increase. Chosen one, your ruins are not a graveyard, they are an altar. Every broken piece is sacred because it carries testimony. You may have walked through disaster, but look closer where there was once devastation. New life is emerging. What was once shattered is being pieced together into something more beautiful than before. Restoration doesn't always appear instantly. Sometimes it begins subtly in unexpected conversation, a sudden moment of peace, a gentle stirring in your spirit. But once heaven begins to rebuild, the process cannot be stopped. Even what the enemy meant for destruction becomes raw material for redemption. There were things you lost that broke you deeply. But what if those losses were actually divine exchanges? You lost temporary comfort to gain eternal stability. You lost people who could not stay so that God could send those who will not leave. You lost plans that were small so that purpose could stretch you into something vast. You were never forgotten in your ruin. Even when everything fell apart, heaven remained. The Spirit hovered over your emptiness the way it did at creation, ready to speak life again. And now, the voice that once said, "Let there be light," is speaking into your story once more. Let there be restoration. Look around, beloved. The rebuilding has already begun. The peace returning to your heart is the first sign. The hope quietly stirring again, that's resurrection. The laughter beginning to reappear in your days, that's heaven fulfilling its word. You are walking proof that ruin is not the end. It's the prelude to renewal. Every tear watered the soil of what's growing now. Every prayer you thought went unanswered was actually building the foundation beneath your feet. You're walking into rooms you once only dreamed of, not by accident, but by alignment. The things that once rejected you will now recognize you. Restoration carries recognition, heaven's signature on your comeback. And when you look back, you'll see the wisdom in every collapse. You'll realize that if the old structures had remained, you'd still be confined by them. The shaking was severe, but it set you free. The ruins had to happen so that the rebuilt version could hold the weight of your calling. Chosen one, don't be afraid to revisit what was broken. Not to dwell, but to testify. Let the world see what grace can do with ashes. When they ask how you survived, tell them, "I didn't rebuild myself, He did." That humility is your crown now. That testimony is your offering. You are living in the early chapters of restoration, and soon the fullness will unfold. What you thought was lost forever will find its way back, renewed, redefined, and radiant. You are no longer standing among ruins. You are standing on sacred ground, the place where heaven kissed your brokenness and called it beautiful. Now, to seal this revelation, type these words below: "I rise again." Say it with conviction. Write it not for the algorithm, but for your own spirit to hear it. As you do, imagine light filling every place that was once dark, strength entering every part that once felt numb. You are declaring that the season of ruin has ended and the season of restoration has begun. This simple declaration is your agreement with heaven's promise. You are not waiting to be restored, you already are. The ashes have turned to gardens, the ruins to revelation. The God who rebuilds has not forgotten you, and your story of ruin has become his masterpiece of redemption. Chosen one, can you feel it? Something new rests upon you, a freshness in the air, a softness in your spirit, a strength you can't explain. What once felt heavy now feels holy. You are walking beneath a new anointing. This is not imagination, it's impartation. The fragrance of heaven has settled over your life because you endured the crushing. Oil is only produced when the olive is pressed. And you, beloved, have been pressed on every side emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You've known the weight of waiting, the pain of pruning, the silence between seasons. Yet out of all that pressure, something divine has begun to flow. The oil of God now rests upon you, thick, golden, unstoppable. This is the oil that tells the heavens you have been tested and found true. It carries the scent of endurance, the glow of faith under fire, the sweetness that only comes from surrender. Every drop of it is proof that your pain was not wasted. Heaven turned every crushing moment into eternal fragrance. We are reminded through the sacred words of the Psalms, chapter 92, verse 10. You have exalted my horn like that of a wild ox. Fine oils have been poured upon me. The old weight has lifted, and new power has arrived. The oil represents more than blessing. It's the mark of divine appointment. Heaven does not pour this kind of oil on everyone. It is reserved for those who survived the pressing without losing faith. That's you. The trials that once crushed your spirit have become the very vessels through which heaven pours strength. You may notice that people look at you differently now. It's not pride, it's presence. Something about you radiates calm. Your words carry weight. Your silence carries peace. You walk into rooms, and the atmosphere shifts. That's what new oil does. It changes everything it touches. Chosen one, this oil is not only for you, it flows through you. It will heal, it will comfort, it will awaken others. The same grace that carried you out of the fire now wants to spill over to those still trapped in smoke. When you speak encouragement, it's not just talk, it's transfer. Every word you share becomes a drop of oil on weary souls. That's why your voice matters. Every share, every post, every word spoken in love extends the flow. You are a vessel of light. When you spread these messages, you're not promoting content, you're pouring oil. You're anointing timelines, sanctifying feeds, reminding others that grace is still alive. Think of it this way, a lamp cannot shine without oil. And in this digital age, every act of sharing is like lighting another lamp in the night. When you click share, you're not just spreading words, you're igniting flames in unseen hearts. When you subscribe, you're saying to heaven, keep the oil flowing in my direction. And when you give, even in small measure, you are fueling the lamps that light the path for others still lost in the dark. Your support, whether it's a prayer, a word, or a gift, is sacred oil itself. It ensures that this light keeps reaching places where despair still whispers. This ministry isn't built on algorithms. It's built on hearts like yours, hearts that believe that one spark of faith can set nations aflame. If you have ever been touched, strengthened, or restored by these words, know that you are already part of this movement. Every time you engage, you join hands with heaven in the work of restoration. Every gesture, no matter how small, becomes eternal currency. Giving is not about transaction, it's about transformation. It's like tending a fire in the wilderness. The more wood you add, the brighter it burns, guiding travelers who are still trying to find their way. Your contribution, whether through prayer, sharing, subscribing, or donating, is that log on the flame. You are helping this light reach hearts you will never meet until eternity. You are the reason heaven keeps speaking through this channel. You are the reason these words still find their way into weary souls. Without your presence, this oil could not pour as far. Together, we are not just creating videos or messages, we are building altars of hope across the world. Chosen one, never underestimate the ripple of a faithful act. One click, one prayer, one seed can reach where sermons cannot. You are a bridge, a carrier of oil, a living testament that God still anoints the broken and turns them into beacons. So let your generosity be worship. Let your engagement be echo. And let your heart stay open to the constant flow of divine oil, because this is just the beginning. The anointing upon your life is expanding. You are not empty. You are overflowing. May your home be fragrant with peace. May your hands drip with purpose. May your voice carry healing. And as you continue to walk this path, remember each time you support this work in any form, you are participating in the miracle itself. For this oil was never meant to stay in one vessel, it was meant to flow. And through you, it will. Chosen one, there is a holy stillness before every great reversal, a silence that hums with purpose. You may not hear the thunder, but the shift has already begun. Heaven has leaned in, and time itself bends to favor you. The tables are turning. What was meant to harm you is now becoming the ground on which you will stand. The winds that once opposed you are being commanded to carry you forward. This season is not about luck, it is about justice. Divine justice does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It restores what was stolen, heals what was broken, and reorders what was out of alignment. You are now stepping into that whisper. Everything that once pressed against you will soon propel you. Every injustice written against your name is being rewritten in gold. There was a long season when the weight felt unfair. You gave your best, but life gave you loss. You extended love and received silence. You planted faithfully, yet harvest seemed to favor others. Heaven saw all of it. Nothing escaped divine record. God was not blind to your obedience nor deaf to your cries. He simply waited until the foundation of your heart could hold the abundance that is now coming. What you called waiting, heaven called weaving. Every unanswered prayer was thread in a greater tapestry. You were being crafted for a moment when restoration would not just bless you, but bless through you. The turning of the tables is not simply for vindication, it is for revelation. God is showing the world what redemption looks like when it wears your face. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 7. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. You will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. Chosen one. The turning began the day you stopped defending yourself and started trusting God to do it. The moment you released control, heaven took command. That is when the unseen machinery of justice started moving on your behalf. The same people who once looked down on you will now look up to you, not because of your strength, but because of your peace. Understand, this divine reversal doesn't erase your past, it redeems it. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every betrayal becomes a bridge. Every season of silence becomes a seed of sound that will echo through generations. You are no longer the victim of your story. You are its victor. What once embarrassed you will soon empower you. Think of Joseph in the pit, abandoned by his own brothers. He didn't know that betrayal was the pathway to a palace. Or Ruth, gathering leftovers in a field she would one day own. Or Esther, an orphan girl who became the voice of a nation. You walk in the same pattern of divine irony, God raising beauty from ashes, glory from grief. There was a reason heaven let you face rejection before recognition. It refined your heart. Had you been elevated earlier, pride might have poisoned your purpose. But now, you rise with grace, not resentment. You no longer need to prove anything. You simply are. The tables are turning, and you're watching it happen with calm authority. Do not expect the reversal to look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, a sudden email, a soft apology, a long-awaited door creaking open without effort. You will notice how ease replaces striving, how peace replaces panic. Things that used to exhaust you will begin to flow naturally. That is how you know favor has found you again. And when restoration comes, it won't simply replace what was lost, it will redefine it. The friendships that return will be deeper. The opportunities will fit your true identity. The joy will not depend on outcome. It will flow from within. The turning of the tables is not a scene of revenge, it's a scene of recognition. Heaven is recognizing what you became through endurance. The darkness that once mocked you will soon have to testify you survived. You grew. You ascended. Even the wounds that once throbbed with pain now pulse with power. You can look back without bitterness because you understand now everything was training. Everything was grace in disguise. Chosen one, this is your double portion moment. You are standing on ground made fertile by your own perseverance. The reversal will not be loud, but it will be undeniable. You don't need to fight for visibility. Heaven will handle the announcement. The same God who lifted you through the valley is now placing you upon the hill. Let peace be your posture and gratitude your language. The tables have turned, not because you demanded it, but because you were faithful when no one saw. The harvest you are walking into is heaven's applause for every unseen act of endurance. You are the fulfillment of promise, that you are the evidence that patience is never wasted. Chosen one, you are no longer waiting for the promise, you are walking in it. The air around you feels different now, doesn't it? What once felt distant now feels near. What once was hope has become reality. You are standing inside the season you once prayed for with trembling hands and tear-filled eyes. This is your prophetic moment. You may not have realized it, but everything in your life has been aligning for this time. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was setting the stage for divine appointment. What looked like silence was actually God writing instructions in the unseen. What looked like loss was simply pruning before abundance. And now, the appointed hour has arrived. According to what is revealed in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. That verse now breathes through your life. You waited when others gave up. You believed when evidence said otherwise. And because of that faith, you've stepped into manifestation. What heaven once whispered in secret is now speaking loudly through your existence. You are walking prophecy. Look around. Can you sense it? Doors that resisted you for years are now opening with ease. Conversations that once felt heavy now flow with grace. People who overlooked you now recognize something divine in your presence. The spiritual shift that once felt invisible is now tangible. This is what happens when timing and purpose collide. You move not by effort but by alignment. But be mindful. Beloved, prophetic seasons require spiritual maturity. This is not the moment to rush ahead or boast, it's the moment to walk wisely. Heaven is entrusting you with greater influence, and influence without humility is dangerous. Remember how the wilderness shaped you. Remember how patience became your teacher. Let the lessons of delay protect the harvest of fulfillment. You carry new authority now. Your words carry power not because they are loud, but because they are rooted in truth. You've learned to speak less and mean more. You've learned to move slowly, but impact deeply. That is the mark of one who walks in divine rhythm. The people around you may not fully understand your glow, and that's all right. Light often confuses those accustomed to shadows. You're not here to explain, you're here to exemplify. Live the message that once saved you. Let peace be your sermon, compassion your ministry, consistency your worship. The season you're in is not just for receiving, it's for multiplying. You are being positioned to bless others with what you've gained. The same God who elevated you expects your hands to stay open. The prophetic promise is never meant to end with you, it flows through you. Every act of generosity, every kind word, every moment of grace you extend continues the flow of divine movement in your life. You will soon notice divine acceleration. What used to take years will now take months. What once required pleading will now unfold through peace. This is the rhythm of prophecy. Fulfilled ease replaces effort. Grace replaces grind. Heaven begins to move with you instead of ahead of you. Do not be surprised when people come to you for wisdom. They can sense the anointing even if they can't describe it. They see in you what endurance looks like when it turns into elegance. The heaviness you once carried has transformed into quiet strength, and your life itself now speaks the words, God keeps his promises. Chosen one, take a deep breath. This is not a dream. You are truly here. You are standing in the answered prayer that once felt impossible. The light on your path shines brighter because it reflects the glory of the journey behind you. You have earned this peace. You have grown into this grace. You have stepped fully into your prophetic season. And now, let this moment be sealed with faith. As a prophetic act of agreement, I want you to comment 5 below, not as superstition but as symbolism. The number 5 represents grace multiplied, overflowing, abundant. 4 5s declare the fullness of that grace covering every direction of your life, north, south, east, and west. As you write those numbers, imagine light expanding from your spirit, stretching into every place that once felt uncertain. This is your declaration. Grace governs your season. Grace opens your doors. Grace multiplies your blessings. Grace steadies your heart. You are living proof that prophecy is not a fantasy. It is the slow fulfillment of divine timing wrapped in human faith. And now that it has come to pass, heaven invites you to walk boldly, humbly, and gratefully into the light you were always meant to carry. The waiting season has closed. The prophetic one has begun. Chosen one, there is a quiet weight upon you now, not the heaviness of sorrow, but the depth of glory. It rests not on your shoulders as a burden, but within your spirit as strength. What once felt like struggle has become substance. You have moved from surviving storms to carrying the authority of peace within them. This is the weight of glory, and it does not come cheaply. To carry glory, one must first endure breaking. To hold divine power, one must first be emptied of self. The crushing you endured was not random, it was requirement. Heaven never places weight on a vessel untested by pressure. You have been proven faithful, so now you are trusted with the sacred. The apostle wrote to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Those words were written for souls like yours. Souls that have walked through fire and emerged unburned. Souls that have been misunderstood but never abandoned. Every ounce of pain you carried was being converted into power. Every tear you cried added to the measure of the glory you now hold. The greater the suffering, the greater the shine. This weight is not visible to human eyes, yet the atmosphere recognizes it. When you walk into a room, peace settles. When you speak, the noise of confusion quiets. That is not charisma, it is consecration. You are carrying something heaven deep. You have become a living sanctuary, a moving altar, a vessel through which divine presence flows. You might not have noticed it happen. It came gradually, like dawn overtaking the night. One day you simply realized that the things which once shattered you no longer had power. You could face the same storm and stand unmoved. That is the evidence of glory, the ability to remain calm while chaos roars. This glory does not make you untouchable. It makes you unbreakable. It does not exempt you from trials. It gives you endurance through them. You now carry the stillness of someone who knows that victory is not the absence of battle, but the certainty of presence. You have learned that when God abides, even the heaviest load becomes holy. Chosen one. Understand this clearly: the weight of glory cannot coexist with the weight of fear. One will always drive out the other. That's why God allowed the stripping to remove every unnecessary attachment, every false dependency, every shadow of doubt. You were never meant to carry everything. You were meant to carry only what is divine. The difference is subtle but sacred. When you carried fear, it drained you. When you carry glory, it fuels you. When you carried anxiety, it blurred your vision. When you carry glory, you see with heaven's eyes. The same situations that once terrified you now reveal opportunities for miracles. You are no longer reactive, you are radiant. There is a divine stillness in those who have survived sacred storms. You don't rush anymore because you trust timing. You don't argue anymore because truth defends itself. You no longer chase peace because peace follows you. This is what spiritual maturity looks like when you realize that being chosen is not about standing above others, but standing before God, willing to bear His presence wherever He sends you. The weight of glory is also the weight of compassion. To carry it means to feel deeply for others, to see their wounds and remember your own healing. Your scars have turned into empathy. When you speak to the broken, your words carry warmth because they come from experience, not theory. That is what makes your presence powerful. It carries healing without effort. Do not fear the magnitude of what rests upon you. The same Spirit that placed the glory within you will sustain you under it. You will not crumble under this calling because it was designed to fit your frame. God never overloads His vessels. He fills them to capacity. The heaviness you sometimes feel is not burden, it's brilliance waiting to be released. You are entering a season where this glory will express itself in new ways. Your creativity, your kindness, your quiet courage, all of it will magnify heaven's beauty. The world will not always understand it, but they will feel it. Light needs no explanation. It only needs to shine. Chosen one. This is your sacred inheritance. The trials of yesterday have become the treasures of today. The bruises have become blessings. The heaviness has become holiness. You no longer pray for deliverance from weight. You thank God for the privilege of carrying it. Because this weight, this holy, radiant weight, is proof that you have been trusted with something eternal. So walk gently, but walk boldly. You are not fragile anymore. You are forged. You are not waiting for the presence, you are the vessel of it. The weight you carry now is glory itself, and it will draw others to the one who gave it. Every step you take from here forward resounds in eternity. You are walking proof that pain refines, not defines. You are heaven's evidence that glory grows best in the soil of endurance. Chosen one, you once mistook isolation for abandonment, but now you understand it was consecration. The silence that once tormented you was the sacred chamber where God shaped your vision. You were hidden not to be forgotten but to be refined. Every season of solitude was heaven's classroom, teaching you the language of listening, the discipline of stillness, the art of discernment. There were days when loneliness felt endless, when the walls around you echoed your prayers back in emptiness. You thought no one saw you. You questioned your worth. Yet heaven was not ignoring you. It was protecting what it was forming. Diamonds are created away from eyes deep in the dark, under weight and pressure. You were being forged in that same sacred secrecy. You were not being punished. You were being purified. Isolation stripped away the noise of validation, the addiction to approval, the constant chase for belonging. It was in those quiet hours that you met your truest self, the version of you not defined by applause or affirmation, but by presence. You learned to love without expectation, to serve without recognition, to walk without witnesses. That kind of growth cannot happen in crowds. It blooms only in solitude. It is written in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Those words once sounded distant, like a promise for others, not for you. But now you see it clearly. The season of isolation was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your illumination. The same God who hid you is now unveiling you. The light that matured in secret is about to be revealed in the open. Your time in the shadows gave you depth. The waiting gave you wisdom. You no longer speak from theory. You speak from transformation. When you open your mouth, truth carries weight because it was lived, not learned. You have become a lantern of experience, one who can guide others not because of perfection, but because of authenticity. The loneliness you endured has turned into leadership. The silence that once frightened you has become your sanctuary. You are no longer afraid of being alone because you've discovered the divine companionship that never leaves. You walk with an invisible friend whose presence makes every place holy. That's why people sense peace when you enter a room. They feel the echo of the solitude that made you whole. Chosen one, understand that illumination always follows isolation. The caterpillar cannot become a butterfly in public. It transforms in a cocoon. The seed cannot sprout on a pedestal. It grows in hidden soil. You, too, were planted in obscurity so that when you emerged, your roots could hold the weight of your light. There was purpose even in the silence that hurt. Heaven does not waste waiting. The very season that made you question everything has now equipped you to stand firm when everything around you shakes. You no longer need external noise to confirm internal truth. You have learned to find direction in stillness, strength in surrender, and vision in vulnerability. Now, as you step forward, the world will begin to notice the glow that isolation gave you. It's not pride, it's presence. You radiate what you've absorbed from the quiet. You've become light by dwelling long enough with the source. And the world, weary and wandering, will find comfort in that glow. You will not need to shout to be heard. Your stillness will speak louder than noise. The unveiling will not happen all at once. God reveals gradually to preserve humility, just as the dawn doesn't burst but brightens. Your illumination will expand in steady grace. You will touch lives simply by being, not by striving. That is the power of those who've walked through loneliness and found love waiting there. Beloved, never despise the hidden seasons again. They are not evidence of rejection but of preparation. The solitude that once felt suffocating has become the sacred soil of your strength. Without that dark place, your roots would be shallow, your light fleeting. Now, because you were willing to stay when it was hard, your light will last when others fade. You are no longer the one begging for belonging. You are the one creating safe spaces for others to belong. Your illumination will not blind. It will guide. It will not boast. It will heal. This is the paradox of divine transformation. The loneliest ones become the brightest ones. The hidden become the heralds. The quiet ones become the carriers of heaven's fire. Chosen one, step gently into visibility. Do not fear the eyes that now find you. You are not the same person who entered the silence. You carry eternity in your gaze. What isolation began, illumination will complete. You were never forgotten. You were being refined until your light could last. And now, heaven whispers shine. Chosen one, heaven is rejoicing over you. Can you feel it, the vibration of joy in the unseen? The soft celebration that echoes in your spirit. You have crossed through darkness, walked through fire, endured silence, and yet you stand here radiant, resilient, refined. Heaven calls this moment the kingdom response. It is the divine applause for every act of faith you made in secret. The angels who once guarded you in battle are now gathered in worship around your victory. You have become a living altar of gratitude, a reminder that faith never fails, that light always wins. The heavens are not only watching you, they are responding to you. When you speak gratitude, the atmosphere moves. When you breathe worship, the earth feels it. That is how powerful you have become. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 21, it is written, His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." Those words are echoing over your life right now. Well done. You may not have heard them from people, but heaven has spoken them over you. You stayed faithful when it was hard, when it was lonely, when nothing made sense. You didn't stop praying when answers didn't come. You didn't stop giving when your hands were empty. That kind of faith moves heaven. Now, as the kingdom celebrates you, heaven also invites you to continue the flow. This is not an ending, it's a continuation of divine movement. The oil upon your life, the message within your heart. The peace you carry, it was never meant to stop with you. It was meant to ripple outward. When you share this message, you are not promoting a page, you are planting seeds. Somewhere, someone is sitting in the dark, wondering if they'll ever make it through. And your one simple act of sharing could become the spark that lights their dawn. When you like or engage, you are not just pressing a button, you are affirming heaven's work, letting the world's noise be interrupted by words of hope. And when you subscribe, you become part of something sacred. Think of it as joining a circle around a fire in the night. Each subscriber adds a new flame, and together we create warmth that reaches farther than we can see. The darkness cannot comprehend that kind of light when it is united. Giving, whether through prayer, encouragement, or donation, is not about transaction. It's about transformation. When you give, you become a builder of bridges. You help this message reach hearts that algorithms cannot touch. Every contribution, no matter how small, becomes a stone in a path leading someone out of despair. Imagine a lighthouse on a stormy coast. It stands firm, sending light into the sea for those lost in the dark. But the light does not fuel itself. It burns through oil poured by many hands. That is what your support does. Your prayer, your share, your generosity, they are the oil keeping the flame burning. And that flame, beloved, has rescued countless souls who thought hope was gone. So if you've been strengthened by these words, let that same strength flow through you. Engage not out of obligation, but out of overflow. Share, not because it's requested, but because light deserves to travel. Give, not because you must, but because generosity is a language heaven understands. And when you leave a comment, don't just type words, speak from your spirit. Let the comment section become a field of testimonies, a gathering of light bearers confirming that grace still moves, that faith still lives. Every word you write there becomes another stone in the altar heaven is building through this movement. You are part of this story. Chosen one. This isn't just a message you're listening to, it's a mission you're helping fulfill. The kingdom's response to your faith is not only blessing, it is invitation. Heaven is saying, partner with me. Be part of the echo. Let your actions in this digital world mirror your devotion in the spiritual one. Because every click of love, every act of generosity, every shared word carries prophetic weight. You are not just interacting with a message, you are expanding a movement. The same heaven that celebrated your survival now celebrates your service. Chosen one. This is what it means to reign, not to rule over others, but to lift them. To become a vessel through which heaven keeps speaking. To be the reason someone else chooses hope instead of despair. You are no longer just a receiver of grace, you are a distributor of it. So let your engagement today be worship. Let your generosity be a reflection of gratitude. Let your voice join the chorus of those heaven calls faithful. For the kingdom is responding and you are the reason it sings. Chosen one, dawn is here. You may not have noticed the first light creeping in, but it has already touched the edges of your life. The long night is broken, and what once felt endless now fades quietly behind you. This is the dawn of eternal victory, the moment when everything shifts from surviving to shining. You have not only endured, you have overcome. There is something sacred about first light. It doesn't arrive with noise or chaos, it comes softly, gently, filling what darkness once claimed. That is how victory feels when it comes from God. It does not need to prove itself, it simply is. You don't have to fight anymore for what heaven has already declared as yours. Peace itself has become your proof. This new season is not a reward for your strength, it is the result of His promise. Every step you took through pain was a declaration that faith still works. Every prayer whispered in exhaustion was a seed, and now the garden of victory blooms around you. You have stepped into the fulfillment of prayers that once felt impossible. According to the wisdom of Proverbs chapter 4, verse 18, the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. That is your reality now. The light on your path will only grow stronger from here. You are no longer stumbling through shadow. You are walking in revelation. The things that once confused you now make sense in the clarity of dawn. Every unanswered question finds its peace in understanding that God was guiding even when you could not see. There was a time when you thought victory would look loud and dramatic, a sudden miracle, a thunderous breakthrough. But true victory often arrives quietly. It looks like calm mornings after sleepless nights. It feels like deep breaths where anxiety once lived. It sounds like laughter returning to your voice after years of silence. You are no longer defined by what you went through. The darkness no longer has permission to name you. You are not the wounded one, not the rejected one, not the forgotten one. You are the restored, the renewed, the risen. Heaven has rewritten your identity. You walk now as one crowned with peace, robed in purpose, carrying the fragrance of freedom. Chosen one, every loss has been reversed in meaning. What was once pain is now power. What was once confusion is now clarity. The same storms that tried to destroy you have become the winds that lift you higher. You no longer dread what comes next because you finally understand nothing can separate you from divine favor. Victory is not a moment, it is a state of being. It lives within you now, even on difficult days. The core of your spirit remains unshaken. You have learned how to rest in triumph rather than strive for it. You no longer beg for miracles, you breathe them. You no longer seek peace, you are peace. The dawn of eternal victory is not about external success, it is about inner stillness. You have stopped fighting for approval and started walking in assurance. You no longer need to prove that you are chosen, the evidence is the light you carry. When people encounter you, they will feel it. They may not understand it, but they will recognize it. Something holy surrounds you. This victory also carries responsibility. The light that now shines from you is meant to guide others still trapped in night. You don't have to preach to them. You just have to live openly, honestly, authentically. Your peace will speak louder than any sermon. Your gentleness will reveal more about God than 1,000 words. That is the quiet authority of those who walk in eternal victory. There will still be challenges. Victory does not remove the storms, but it changes your relationship with them. You will face future trials from a higher place. You will not crumble. You will command. You will not react. You will respond. You will see obstacles for what they are, opportunities for heaven to shine again. You have become a carrier of divine continuity. The dawn that has risen in you will never set. Even when night returns for others, your light will remain steady. You have learned that darkness is not an enemy. It is simply the backdrop against which light proves itself. That is why your confidence feels effortless now. It no longer depends on circumstances, only on truth. Look around and breathe in the new air of this season. The weight you once carried has lifted. The fear that once followed you has vanished. Every step you take now echoes eternity's approval. You are walking on holy ground, not because the path changed, but because you did. Chosen one, the dawn has come to stay. The night can no longer return in the same way. It has lost its power. You will never again be the person who trembled in the dark. You have become the light. You have crossed from endurance to enjoyment, from struggle to stability, from shadows to sunrise. And as heaven looks upon you now, it smiles. You are not merely surviving the story, you are finishing it in glory. The dawn of eternal victory shines through you, and it will only grow brighter from here. Chosen one, heaven has prepared this final moment, the coronation. Not as a ceremony of spectacle, but as a divine recognition of everything you've endured, everything you've become. The journey that began in tears now ends in triumph. You stand where the darkness once threatened to swallow you, and light crowns your head in eternal peace. This is not the same you who began the climb. This is the one who has seen the face of grace and lived to tell the story. The crown you wear is invisible to the world, yet all of heaven sees it shining. It was not placed on your head by hands of flesh, but by the breath of God Himself. Every hardship forged its gold. Every loss polished its jewels. Every prayer added another gleam to its surface. You have been crowned not because you avoided the fire, but because you walked through it without losing your faith. The voice of God thundered through the words of Revelation. Chapter 3, verse 11, I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. That crown represents far more than victory, it is identity. It is the divine confirmation that you belong to the kingdom, that you have fought the good fight and kept your light burning through every night. You were never meant to blend in with the world. You were born to remind it that heaven still reigns. Now, as heaven places the final seal upon your journey, you can feel the weight of completion resting upon you. Not heaviness, but fulfillment. The kind of peace that comes only after every tear has been counted and every scar redeemed. You have not just survived the darkness, you have mastered it. You have learned that light is not something you chase, it is something you become. Look around at your life. What once looked barren is now blooming. What once seemed wasted is now woven into beauty. Every broken season is bowed to purpose. The people who doubted you may never understand, but heaven does. Every sleepless night, every whispered prayer, every act of kindness when no one was watching, heaven has recorded it all. This is your coronation, not of pride, but of purpose. A crown of humility rests upon your head, woven with threads of obedience. It is not the crown of kings who conquer nations, but of servants who conquer self. It is the sign of those who love when it costs them, who believe when nothing makes sense, who keep walking when no applause follows. You are that kind of chosen one, the kind who did not let bitterness win, who did not let despair define them. Your faith became the bridge between what was broken and what is now beautiful. You have become a living monument of mercy, proof that grace is stronger than grief. The crown you wear is not fragile. It cannot tarnish, it cannot fall. It was sealed in eternity the moment you chose surrender over striving, forgiveness over vengeance, truth over comfort. The glory upon you is not decoration, it is recognition. It tells the world that light has found a dwelling place, that hope has a face, that heaven has a voice, and that voice is yours. Do you feel it now, the calm that lingers where fear once lived? The strength that breathes quietly within your ribs. You are finally at peace with the process. The long valley no longer haunts you. It humbles you. The mountains no longer intimidate you, they invite you. You have found balance, the steady rhythm of a soul fully aligned with its creator. Chosen one, your coronation is not the end. It is the continuation of divine reign through your life. You will walk with quiet authority, not demanding attention but drawing it through peace. You will move through the world like dawn moves across the sky, gently but unstoppable. Every word you speak will carry the weight of heaven's affirmation. Every step you take will remind the earth that light still conquers. And this crown, it does not make you higher than others, it makes you a servant of greater love. You are crowned to lift, not to rule, to illuminate, not to dominate. You wear this crown to reflect the heart of the one who gave it, the king who kneels to wash feet, the lion who also became the lamb. Also, now breathe, feel the warmth of light settling around you. The battle cries have faded, the storm has passed, and the silence that remains is holy. This is not emptiness, it is completion. The heavens have written finished across your night, and sunrise will never end again. You have been crowned, beloved, not with earthly glory, but with eternal significance. Your life will continue to ripple through generations unseen. Every word, every act of love, every spark of compassion will echo the truth that victory was never temporary. It was always eternal. The darkness is behind you, the crown is upon you, and heaven's whisper lingers, well done, chosen one. You have overcome, and your light will never fade. Beloved chosen one, before this final moment closes, pause, breathe. Let everything you've heard settle deep into your spirit. You've traveled through fire, shadow, silence, and sunrise, and you've arrived crowned in light. Heaven has completed what it began in you. You are not merely a listener of this message, you are its living continuation. What happens next is sacred. The words no longer belong only to this space, they belong to you. You carry them now, wherever you go. You are the ripple heaven released into the world. And when you share light, it multiplies. Every gesture of grace, every click, every comment, every whisper of encouragement extends this message beyond the screen and into the souls still searching for hope. So if this message has found you, if it stirred something silent within your heart, let it not end here. Share it as you would share a flame, carefully, intentionally, reverently. Somewhere out there, someone is standing on the same edge you once faced, praying for a sign. Your one simple act might become their answer. When you like or subscribe, it is not vanity, it is unity. It says, I am part of this family of light. It helps the voice of hope travel further into the noise of the world. It's a quiet but powerful way to tell heaven, keep using me. And when you comment, let it come from your spirit, not just your fingers. Write words that carry meaning, gratitude, revelation, peace. Let the comment section become more than text. Let it become a living altar of testimony. You never know whose eyes will fall upon your words and find strength to keep going. This is how light expands, not by grand gestures, but by faithful ones. Every share becomes a torch, every prayer a spark, every act of support a bridge for someone else's miracle. You have become part of something divine, something far bigger than a single message or moment. You have become a keeper of flame. So, chosen one, as you step away from these words, let your heart remain open. Let your life speak louder than any script. Carry the crown humbly, shine gently, love boldly. And when you feel the light stirring again, return. There will always be more to receive, more to give, more to become. The story continues with you.